What's going on, guys? My name is Jack, and today we're going to be talking about Slay the Spire, developed by Megacrit Games and currently available through Steam Early Access for $15. And I will let you guys know right off the bat that this is not going to be a traditional review in any sense for my channel or my style, because Slay the Spire is a game that I really struggle to find the right words to say and to really define what I find so enjoyable about it, because I feel like in a lot of ways this is one of the few games that I have ever run into where a comprehensive breakdown of what actually goes on in the game I feel like kind of ruins the experience. It's one of those games that I think is uniquely enjoyed with as much of the unknown left to the gamer as possible. If you watch a full review that breaks down everything there is about this game, everything you can expect, I feel like some of the things that have kept me gripped for over 140 hours of gameplay are kind of lost. There is a legitimate amount of exploration and discovery within this game that I think is entirely unique, and I would really hate to be the type of person that took away that mystique for new players. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to play a run live. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I like and I don't like about the gameplay, and we're just going to kind of do this a little more organically. This isn't going to be a full thorough review like something like my Black Ops 4 review was from last week. This is going to be more of a what does this game feel like video, because that's really where I'm at. I'm not sure that I would be doing the right thing by defining this game in hard terms and breaking down absolutely everything that's going on, because discovering new cards, discovering new routes, discovering new decks organically like I did is probably what made the game so damn enjoyable to me, and I want you guys to go and give it a try yourself. So that being said, we're gonna hop into a match. We could do a daily climb, which is like a daily leaderboard challenge with modifiers, but we're not. We're gonna do a normal run. And who do I want to play as? Well, okay, so this I will say. So there's 3 characters in the game right now, with more to come along. We have the Ironclad, who can best be defined if you've played any Hearthstone. This is an attack style character who's really focused on buffs and debuffs that make you do more damage. There's not a whole lot of control or severe high defense or crowd control in this deck. His playstyle is, I'm going to do as much fucking damage to you in one turn as possible. That's the Ironclad playstyle. Really good. I don't have a least favorite character in this game. I'll explain a little bit more about that in the gameplay. But moving on, we have the Silent, who is very much the methodical stall character, high defense, high skill usage versus attack usage, with really decent crowd control and an emphasis on status effects and drawing and discarding cards. The Silent is incredible. When I first started playing the game, I hated playing the Silent until I finished unlocking all of the cards available to her, and then she really grew on me, and I've probably played her the most out of all 3 characters. Incredible, lots of fun. This is our defense and crowd control character. And then finally, the Defect. The Defect is best defined as like a pure control playstyle. He has one of the most unique mechanics out of the 3 characters in that he has basically buff orbs that surround him that you can summon with cards. He has a damage orb, a defense orb, one that just stacks heavy damage over time, and then one that will give you more energy to play more cards. The Defect is very methodical, has the weakest early game of all 3 characters, but if you can get through to the mid game, you can get some of the best snowball decks in the game out of the Defect. Incredible, lots of fun, that's the Defect. But we're going to go with the base character, the Ironclad, because the game shines in its simplicity, and the Ironclad is by far the most simplistic character. So let's just hop in. So, good thing to note, if you buy this game in startup, you will not have this whale. You have to win a run to gain access to this whale, and he will give you a random modifier at the start of any future runs. So, our options are, we can get a random colorless card, we can get gold, we can lose max HP but get a rare card, or lose our starting relic and obtain a random boss relic. So relics are our modifiers, and Ironclad's default modifier is incredible. You're going to gain 6 HP after every combat. Please note combat, because there are other things in this game besides combat. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to examine our map and I'm going to identify our route to the boss. As you can see here, we have unknowns, merchants, treasure, rest sites, enemies, and elites. So what I'm favoring here, because I play a bit more of a conservative play style, is something with a couple of unknowns in the early route, maybe a shop, but with a campfire before our first elite fight, which is essentially a mini boss. So I'm liking this left route here. Also, just for your own edification, here's the default deck for the Ironclad. We got 4 defense, 5 strikes, and a bash, which applies vulnerable, which is essentially a damage debuff onto the enemy. They will take more damage from us. With that being said, I don't want to take this, well, do I want to take the early shop? I think that's the best option here because not many of the colorless cards are very good in the early game, so we're going to take the 100 gold. We're going to hop into our first encounter. So here we are into the main gameplay, that is the combat system. So as you can see, 3 energy, we have a draw pile, a discard pile, and we can see exactly what our enemies are going to do. This one is going to inflict a negative effect on us, and it's going to do 8 damage. This one's just going to do 6 damage. So in the early game, especially with this character, what I'm trying to do is focus on DPS while also mitigating damage loss, but I'm not super concerned about losing HP. Due to the fact that our relic will heal us by 6, I'm not worried about taking some early damage. So it warrants aggressive play. So by taking this one off the field, we're only going to take 7 damage, but we'll be fine. We'll regen 6 of that. That's not a big deal. So here we are going to block hard and just go for an attack. Right now, they haven't done any straight debuffs on us, so I'm not that worried about it. Here, we're going to play a little bit more aggressive than is probably needed, but we're going to go for a bash to apply some vulnerability to be able to take him out guaranteed next turn. Except we didn't, we got screwed because he's put slimes in our deck. So what do I like about this gameplay? What keeps me so gripped by it? What I really like about Slay the Spire is the way it incentivizes you to simultaneously be very careful of when you take risks and when you play conservatively. Both playstyles have an inherent amount of drawback. If you play too conservatively, what can happen is in certain fights, like say this one for example, this enemy will keep on stacking strength buffs and buffing its attack power for the rest of the game. That's bad, so I'm incentivized here to play more aggressively to try and end this fight faster. Other fights, I'm incentivized to play more of the long game, try and get more cards out there, more debuffs, more buffs on my own character, so that I can mitigate higher amounts of earlier damage. You're in an ebb and flow constantly in this game between when you choose to go aggressive and when you choose to get very safe about your play. Another thing that I really like is the concept of these unknown rooms, because they can either be combats or guaranteed relics or stuff like this, which has a definitive good and bad aspect to it. I could lose 8 HP but gain some gold. I have a shop up ahead. Maybe that 8 HP is worth it if I'm just going to hit the rest afterwards. Or I could take my luck on a relic, because maybe one of these masks is more beneficial to me in the long run. I usually like to go with the masks because I think it adds a bit more flavor to the run. And we got basically the best mask in the game from this encounter. Our HP is going to be increasing by 1 after every combat, which is fantastic. But that's what I like. I like that you're not guaranteed to see certain things. I like that you're not guaranteed to make the same decisions run to run. You get an idea for how you want to play certain encounters if you play enough. Like I know that with this enemy, I want to try and move fast so he doesn't do a shit ton of damage to me. But I don't always have that option. I don't always have the ability to chunk him right away because of the randomness that a card game has inherently. It's very interesting. This is a game I've played a lot over on my stream, which you should check out. And what I really like to do is go through my thought process with the stream and really tell them what I'm thinking and why I'm doing it in the game. Because I think that's the most interesting part, is breaking down why I'm doing certain things, why I'm taking certain routes, and why I'm playing certain cards when I do. And to be fair, sometimes I play a card by mistake, because I think everyone does that in a card game every now and again, so, you know, don't crucify me. But it's not a game where you feel overtly punished for trying something new. There are definitive good decks in this game. There are definitive bad decks in this game. But I also know that most of my victories have come from experimentation. I know what a good deck for the Ironclad should look like. I'm not always going to get all of the pieces though, and I've gotten wins on the Ironclad still by trying to, in the moment, make a bad deck work or use pieces that weren't always going to fit together and make them fit together. And a little bit of luck, because frankly, there is always going to be luck in a card game. That's just kind of an unavoidable element, is that RNG aspect, and this game definitely has its fair share of that. I know that that's a turnoff for some people, but I personally don't mind it. I think it keeps the gameplay fresh. Yeah, I think there's an insane amount of replayability in this game for its price tag. $15 is a steal for a game that I put 140 hours into, especially a single player game. Because I don't know if I'm alone in this thought process, but I'm not a big fan of single player games overall. It's just not something that I'm personally into. I prefer multiplayer games, which is what I primarily play and review on the channel. But this game uniquely caught my attention in such a way that it warranted a video about it. So I think now that I've gotten my pitch out of the way, what I'm going to do is we're going to play out the rest of this run. And we're just going to cut to some of the highlights, some of my better plays, maybe some of my breakdowns. And we're just going to kind of go freeform. I highly recommend you check this game out. It's a decent $15. It goes on sale all the time. And if you don't want to get it on PC, they're supposed to be releasing a mobile version pretty quick here in the next few months. So you might want to grab it for Android, because this would be a fantastic game for on the go. Alright, so let's just cut to the highlights. Okay, so this is the hardest early elite in the game. They do a just shit ton of damage, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. You're gonna take a lot of damage on this fight, and you're gonna get debuffed very heavily to let the fight go on too long. So you pretty much just have to come to terms with the fact that it's gonna hurt. That's just ultimately what it is. So you gotta strike this balance between doing damage and mitigating damage, which is something that not a lot of fights in the game, I think, accomplish very strongly. Oftentimes it's like one way or the other. You're gonna go full turtle, or you're gonna go all out on the offensive. So right here, it's kind of difficult to judge what I want to do, but I know that we are right next to a campfire, so we're going to be resting after this fight. So I'm going to play it aggressive to try and end this fight early, because the longer we go, the more we're going to get debuffed. And that was definitely the right way to play that. We got Ginger, fantastic relic. We can no longer be weakened. Weakness is the curse of the Ironclad, because you don't want to be a weak boy. You want to be strong. We're not going to take any cards there. That's a significant part of the metagame here, is choosing what cards to put into your deck. Because if you make your deck too fat, if you've ever had a super stacked deck in Hearthstone, but you have too many cards, this is that situation. You don't want to be the guy with too many cards. Ooh, this is gonna hurt. Yeah, we just have to turtle up. No way. We want to mitigate that damage loss. And because of Flame Barrier, we do a shit ton of damage right back. Pull bash over. Draw it like an idiot, because I forget that Pommel Strike draws. I think you bash and then you attack, because Orichalcum is going to give you more block than one defense would. So that's why Orichalcum is great. Yeah, you just want to chunk him early. This boss has just one or two significant attacks in its pool, and then other than that, it's kind of a pushover. So, we're setting up well to keep him constantly debuffed, which is very advantageous to us. We're not too worried about our damage taking here, due to the fact that when we go to the next floor, we get a full heal. So I'm trying to prioritize doing as much DPS as possible, while also, not being reckless. So he's doing 20 damage here. We want to try and mitigate some of that. Hoping to see a bash this turn. That'd be nice. Flame Barrier Strike. Deal 12 damage total due to Flame Barrier being buffed. Orichalcum is just going to do us better in the long run. I'd rather put up the 2 attacks and guarantee we get this fight over. Ooh, that's actually cutting it real close. We played that fight sloppy. But we got through. We get the full heal on the next floor. Not a big deal. Here, honestly, none of those cards are really useful. We don't have anything that we really want. this is where things get interesting. So we can take extra energy, so we can play extra cards. We also won't be able to upgrade cards at rest sites. I personally always go for this because in the long run, I don't find myself upgrading many cards after the first floor. I know that's not always a smart decision, but that's just how I personally play. I will say, one thing that I do have like one minor gripe with the game in its current iteration, and that's that it's incredibly punishing, I think, to not have an energy relic after the first floor. Just due to the fact that the damage ramps up significantly after the first floor and you see more multi-enemy encounters. And just 3 energy can be seriously hamstringing unless you have like a god tier build right away. Which odds are you probably don't because it's the first floor and you can get very unlucky sometimes. So like normally if I'm in this position with 3 energy, this fight is a lot worse. But luckily we have the luxury to not be in that position. Where we're going to be able to finish this fight very easily because due to hand drill and our proper uses of bashes, this guy is vulnerability forever. So, I mean, there you go. Fight over. Shrug is one of the best defense cards Ironclad has. I take it every time I see it. I highly recommend you do the same. What am I looking for in terms of a deck? Well, to be honest, I think the best Ironclad deck is a Whirlwind Strength deck. What Whirlwind is, and it's probably my favorite card in the game overall, it basically hits all enemies for X amount of times. X meaning however much energy you have when you play the card, it'll hit that many times. So, yeah, it's pretty fun good. If I get a Whirlwind, it's gonna be real good. I mean, look at that Flame Barrier, though. Man, Flame Barrier out here paying for its damn self. God damn. This fight could be super annoying without something like a Whirlwind or good crowd control. We only had 1 cleave, so our crowd control was low. And here we don't take anything. We don't need to add anything to this deck necessarily that isn't like immediately beneficial, like some kind of strength buff or significant defense card or a Whirlwind. Ooh, this is the hardest elite fight on this floor in my opinion. They just do a lot of damage very fast. So we're gonna turtle for this first turn, kind of let them do damage to themselves. He's going for a debuff that's gonna prevent us from attacking. Now if you're a new player, you're not gonna know that, so you're just gonna be stuck on that, but I got the knowledge, so I know. We want to take out these two on the outside first. This guy in the middle doesn't do a whole lot. He doesn't have serious debuffs, so I'm not worried about him. So you Flame Barrier, you block. You can't attack this turn because of the Entangled debuff. Whatever. At least they can't weaken you. Thank you, Ginger. Love you. Appreciate you. And you just accept the fact that this turn is gonna hurt. Not much you can do about it. Alright, you cleave, you headbutt, you bring back the cleave, and then you double defend. Smart plays. Big brain, IQ, unreal, just straight popping. What are you gonna do? You can't stop me now. Yeah, I'll block. I ain't afraid. Fuck you. Put that cleaver away. You ain't cutting no meat. There ain't no butcher shop. You aren't certified. I need an FDA guide in here right away. This game's not fucking up the standards. So, Matryoshka, please give us good relics. I mean, yeah, we're already applying vulnerability out the ass, but I mean, might as well start off the fucking game with it too. Why not? And Mob Ink means that, oh. We're gonna skip this shop because I want Mob Ink to give me like 1,000 gold. Why? Because your boy looking for that cheddar, that green, you know, that big shmoney, you know? It's a life I want to live. Later, nerd. You ain't gonna do shit to me. Block, headbutt, bring back Flame Barrier, and, you know, fuck you. Take 5 vulnerability. Why don't you? So actually, we don't want to kill this guy here, because this guy will give us vulnerability, and if you hadn't noticed, vulnerability hurts. So I don't want them to do that to me, especially when this guy's doing a big ass stack. So we're just gonna turtle. I forgot I had letter opener. Every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage. Wow. It doesn't matter, we're still not taking any damage, but that was scary, okay? Oh, real spooky hours. I don't appreciate that. What am I doing? Orichalcum would have given us the same thing for free. I'm just the dumbest. That was a dumb move. Don't do what I did. Don't be stupid. Stupid? Yo, Phil. How's it going? You beautiful bastard. Yeah, no, let's just draw the card I brought back. Because I totally didn't want it next turn. I mean, I don't need it because we got Flame Barrier, but... Leave. Strike. Get me the fuck out of there. Don't want any of that. Can we please just get... This fight sucks. But your boy's also loaded. Fuck it. I mean, nerds. Okay, we're gonna just... If we get a pommel strike, which, you know, we have like a 1/3 chance of doing, or a twin strike, we can kill this bitch. So, pray to the gods. That works. Yeah, you know that. Yeah. That worked pretty good, actually. Woo. Woo. Why am I playing this when Orichalcum would do me better? Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Alright, well, whatever. Later. Orichalcum is gonna be better for us. Orichalcum doesn't even matter. Get the fuck off me. Yes, I'm gonna take a flex because that's all I've been doing in this goddamn video. No, well... Okay, we live to fight another day. Probably don't deserve it, but okay, he's summoning this turn. This is my moment. Bring back an Armaments. We need something. We need some tank this turn. There ain't enough tank in the world. A moment of silence for our friend the Ironclad. May he rest in peace, and may there be many whirlwinds in his future. Amen. Anyway, this weird mess of a video is my thoughts and review of Slay the Spire. This game has been out for about pretty nearly a year now, and I know I'm late to the game on it, but Megacrit as a developer is a golden stroke in the indie scene. They have done nothing but support this game with weekly updates since day one. They are clearly passionate about what they do. They have a dedicated fan base, and they've proven that the card game genre can be more than just a money pit for people. Like, honest to God, I think Hearthstone and games like Magic the Gathering are fantastic, but the thing that turns me off from playing them is that if I actually played them seriously, my wallet would have like a -10 debuff and be getting hit for like 100 damage every time a meta shift or an expansion came out. Okay? I don't like that. This game has a tighter card and combat system than Hearthstone. Don't at me. And the only thing you have to do is pay $15 and give it your time. It's fantastic. It's probably the best roguelike game that I have played. It's probably the best indie game that I have played. And the game is only getting better, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I highly recommend you guys try it out. Anyway, that's the video. If you guys want to see more reviews from me, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, make sure you tell me about what your favorite indie games are. Have you tried Slay the Spire? Do you like it? What's your feelings about card games as a whole? Because really, if nothing else, this game just makes me hopeful that Artifact isn't a money sink. Please, Valve, don't kill my dreams. For once. You already took away TF2. You already took away Half-Life. Just come on. Give me a solid one time, Gabe. Come on. I helped you out back in Nam. Come on. Help a brother out. Anyway, make sure you guys check the links in the description. You can find my brother there. You can find a link to my previous review there. You can find a link to the Steam store page for Slay the Spire. I highly recommend it. And, of course, you can find links to my social medias, my Twitter, my Twitch, which I am streaming there 5 times a week, so make sure you come drop me a follow. Make sure you come check it out. We play Slay the Spire on that stream all the time. When I'm in between playing Call of Duty or I'm in between playing Destiny, I will throw on a couple of Ascension runs of Slay the Spire. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.